شالوم بر همگی، شالوم بر دوستان عزیزم.
You're going to say it in English, you said, for the class, right?
Therefore, shalom everybody. Shalom to all the friends. I would like to explain, because I had an opportunity to talk to Harav Armoni today in length, of the program that we are really initiating to bring about, which will be essentially in Hebrew, in English, and in Farsi, and Harav Armoni is looking even in other ways and other languages to pass on this information. I would like to share his goal, his reasoning of why he is presenting the concept of tree of generation. Understanding that the situation that is going around the world, understanding that the time and the situation that the whole world right now exists, there is a group called Bnei Noach. Those group have one goal, one idea, is to bring peace to the world. How can you bring peace to the world when you bring healing to the world, when you bring understanding to the world? So the concept of the healing is to bring healing to such an extent that the whole world can benefit. Of course, the source is Torah. Of course, the pardes, the levels of understanding of the Torah, derech pardes, which Harav Armoni is teaching, is a deep understanding of the creation, deep understanding of the man, his soul, his body, and now introducing a concept of tselem. That means a man, Adam, is created of three important concepts. Neshama, which is totally spiritual. Then Tselem, as we understand, is the libush. And we explain what libush means, is to conceal in order to reveal, and that was one of the last subjects in the last class, that you conceal in order to reveal. And that's called libush, and that libush is tselem. And then the body. The body is genetic. The chromosome from father and the chromosome to the mother. And then we see that in Kabbalah we have as well using the name mother and father. And then we're referring the mother and father in our studies to Chokhmah and Binah. Abba is Chokhmah and Ima is Binah. We know one Binah. There was something that I wish to share with you. That why we are talking about Binah, why the mother nature. Because everything 9 months are beginning our cultivation of body and soul. 9 months is in the rechem of mother. With hope, and this is going to be introduction, and God's willing, after the courses are finished this round, we will be given the opportunity. I hope I will have the zechut to be able to give the same course in Farsi and in English, and hopefully see success, that all of the world will learn how to first heal themselves and then teach how to heal others. I would like to go to Etz HaChaim, Chelek Bet, and Chelek Bet is a Hashar HaTish'i Shar Dorshei Tzelem, HaTzelem. Is to understanding what this Tzelem is. Neshama is one force, is one energy, but this Neshama cannot come to the body without this Tzelem. What is the purpose of Tzelem in our life? We know that Hoshana Rabbah, we get one Chatima. We get Yom Kippur another Chatima, and we call it Chatima to Chatima. And we understood that Chatima is when you take the name Aleph Hey Yud Hey Aye, and you make it be Milui Yudin Ze Kasa. במילוי אלפין זה קמג, והין קנה. And if you take Kasa 161 plus Kamag 143 plus Kana 151, it becomes Chotem. These three names are representative, the Ke'ilim of this energy we call Tzelem, three of them. And they come from Binah, Aleph, Hey, Yud, Hey. And they make the Tzelem. Now, everything, if you look at the Binah, look at a partzuf of a mother. Binah is a partzuf of a mother. The mother takes a tipa zera, and Rav explains zera, that means zera. That means it's not good. It's zera. That means there is something not good in this zera that you have to correct. That means the zera has a tikkun. That doesn't come to this world just to come here to have fun. No, comes to this world because it has the purpose of cleansing. And it's an opportunity for a soul to come to this world, because it can elevate itself. It can expand itself. Now, three energies make this Tzelem, and Tzelem has three letters, Tzadi, Lamed, Mem. We are going to learn those as Ariya Kadosh Zichrono Bracha is teaching us. However, when we say Kasa, and that was what we learned till now, Kasa as a Tselem, when Tselem is made, Tselem is the highest level that includes two cells, two other cells. Now, these two other cells that we call Kamag Vekana, Kana is really Betzalel, the same words of Betzalel. If you take the word Betzalel, there is two kolel. That's why you have Betzalel. It's really Kana, it's El. But there is two names, so you have Betzalel. This is the Kana. The Kamag is Betzel Aye. Now, these two, Kamag and Kana, they come, one is Zachar, Kamag is Zachar, Kana is Nukva. So therefore, when we want to make a Tselem complete, we don't start from above to below. We are the world of below to above. That means action starts from below. So therefore, Kana, which is Betzalel, is first. That's, and I explain from Torah why this is correct. Then you go to the level of Kamag. You correct Kamag. And then when you correct Kamag, then you make the Tselem to be revealed. So to speak, you go from Mem first, Lamed, and the Tzadi. Mem is on the top. So when we write Tselem, Mem is at the bottom. But really, Mem we're going to learn is on the top. Lamed always in the bottom, and Tzadi is the lower part. So the Tikkun starts from Tzadi, Lamed, and then Mem. Mem ze Gadlut. Tzadi is Katnut. It's Ibur. Then you have Yenika. Then you have Gadlut. Gadlut is when you get Tselem. And that Tselem includes the two Selems. Tselem has the Mochin. Which are the Mochin? The Mochim are the Mem. Mem ze 40. Ze Chochma Bina, Chesed Gevura. 4. At first it's Chochma Bina Da'at, but we know Da'at is Da'at Yamin, Da'at small. That is Chesed, Da'at Yamin, Gevura, Da'at small. So Mem represents when you get Mochin. When you get Chochma Bina Da'at Chesed Gevura. And that's the Tselem. That's why only the Tselem has the Mem, and the other two Tzel that belongs to the Vak and the Malchut, to the Zachar and the Nukva. First the Zachar and Nukva, they have to make the Tikkun before Neshama. Now, to learn this and see it work, and understand that when we talk about Abba ve'Ima and what kind of a Tselem do I get? Now, remember, Harav explained every time we say Shema Israel Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad, at 4 times, then the 5th on Shabbat Musaf, those Shema Israel are yichud shel Abba ve'Ima. And remember, when Abba ve'Ima, they give you a zera, they give you mochin, and we're going to learn what mochin really is, they don't give it to you without tselem. All the mochin come within the tselem. They have their own tselem. Nefesh has his own tselem, Ruach has his own tselem, and Neshama has his own tselem. So the process of working with this tselem is daily. That's why we say first, Hatzelem olech ha'ish. First is ish. But there is a tzelem with mem that Adam holech. That's why emunah is when you believe, you digest it and understand and feel that you are walking with the tselem of Elohim. This feeling of having that your counterpart is tselem Elohim. And eventually this tselem is going to be the libush that elevates, causes the elevation of your soul, your neshama. All is this tapestry, because the tselem, the more beautiful, the more gorgeous and glowing, the more glowing it is of the light of Torah, light of truth, period. That light is when the tselem is glowing and reaching its potential, like this light of moon that is in full. Now, ki hamochin le'ibur, we have...
Excuse me, where are we? Which page we are?
We are just the beginning of the Kitvei Rabbeinu Ari, Chelek Bet, Etz HaChaim.
Oh, we are not in Talmud and Sefirot?
No. We,
just as Chaim?
yes.
Okay. So it is...
later on, we will read the same Ma'amar with Talmud and Sefirot. But it is, and I discussed it with the Rav, it is beautiful if we can really complete this first. It will help tremendously to all of us. I promise you, it makes the total teaching of Rav exceptionally sweet and worked. So it needs this kind of depth of understanding to allow you to go within yourself and seek the truth. Now let's go back here. It says ki hamochin de ibur de zeirampin. Zeirampin is the Adam. Is the Adam that is made in the image of zeirampin. Now, what is this zeirampin? What is Adam? Adam is when you take Shem Yud Hei Vav Hei. We gotta know this name. The Shem Yud Hei Vav Hei, and you make a milui of alfin with Aleph. That is Yud Vav Dalet, Hei Aleph, Vav Aleph, Vav Aleph, Vav, Hei Aleph, equal to 45 Adam. So if you want to see in the holy letters, the image of Adam in holy letters. Those are the image of Adam. That in the holiness. Because all those letters are kli of energy. So Zeirampin is this Adam. And Adam is made out of image of Zeirampin. Hayam mezavek Abba ve'ima. The mochin that we get always is we get it from Abba ve'ima. There must be a chokhmah and bina. We get mochin. What is mochin? We say mochin is chokhmah, bina, da'at. When do I get chokhmah? When do I get bina? When do I get da'at? You don't get it all together. You get it in 3 iburim. Ibur, that means injection of a zera. That means Abba ve'ima. It's a specific time, moed, mikre kodesh, and there is a zivug of Abba ve'ima, and that zivug is going to give you a moach. A moach. Remember, a moach. One moach. One specific moach. Either this moach is nefesh, or ruach, or neshama. When it is nefesh, we call it katnut. Time of ibur. That's first ibur. There we get nefesh. For the world of chitzoniut. To build the world, the kli, the chitzoniut of kli. You need nefesh to go to outside world and fight the life. That's chitzoniut. That's the nefesh. Yenika, that's the time that you are not only netzachot yesod, because katnut is only netzachot yesod. You are yenika. You are navav ketzavot. That's where you become the time of yenika. What is yenika? Why the word yenika? Is when you are getting milk from the mother. That's the time of yenika. Ibur, when the zera went into the egg. Yenika is when you are milking from the mother. Those are all times. Those are all processes. Things are made. Things happen. In the world of spirituality, no time. But in the world of reality, those are time. This is the things what happen. This is how creation goes through process. Things happen. In reality, what it is being made is how my neshama came to my body, with what kind of a tselem it came. Because I have to work with that tselem until the end of my life to legadel, the way that I grow up and expand, to grow, expand not only in my body, but in my mochin as well. That means my nefesh, to have a capability of making a vessel, of expanding vessel, the ruach expand this vessel, and my neshama to expand this vessel. What is expansion? Is expansion to bring more light of Hashem and Shekhinah into myself. More the light of truth. Emet. More of emet. What the Rav says, integrity. Integrity is when your neshama and your ruach and your body, they integrate into the unity of truth. Inside, outside, everything is integrated into one. Unity of emet, truth. That's, now that we understood what mochin is. Mochin is chokhmah bina da'at, but I get only da'at when I get to gadlut. But yet I have to prepare the kli to get the da'at. So here it says, כי המוחין לעיבור דזעיר אנפין מזווג אבא ואמא בכלים החיצוניים. That means the zivug of אבא ואמא is for sake of חיצוניים, והמוחין שלו אז נמשכו מאורות נקרא נפש. What we are getting out of Mitzrayim? At what level? Level of nefesh. That's why they made so much sin. Nefesh. They didn't have yet emunah. They haven't yet built the emunah. Because they didn't have a chance to make the tzelem strong. They're affected because the tzelem was vulnerable. They haven't had the chance to build the emunah, as Zohar HaKadosh says. Because the more you build the emunah, the more your tzelem is strongly established in you. Don't forget, the tzelem is there to protect you. As long as the tzelem is there, you are alive. The tzelem leaves you, you are vulnerable. So that means tzelem is your protection. You are to protect the tzelem. The tzelem is, if the tzelem, Rav said that if the tzelem is higher level than the neshama, that's a good. If both of them high, is fine. But it is better that if the neshama is a high neshama, but the tzelem is a bad tzelem, oy vavoy. That neshama is going to be degraded. But if the tzelem is good and the neshama is not of such a high grade, that neshama can elevate that neshama. It's all to the tzelem. That's why it's so important to know what is the source of the tzelem, understand it, how it's really getting established and what he is bringing to me. And that really has been for past 2 weeks classes. נמשכו מאורות הנקרא נפש אשר להם ומוחין ליניקה, עיבור היניקה, that means now first is נצח הוד יסוד, now is חסד גבורה תפארת, אבות is added to it, אבות is added, הם מקהלים האמצעים. They are in the middle of we have the top, the middle, and the bottom. The top, the pnimiut, is chokhmah bina da'at. Emtsaim, is, we call yenika, is chesed gevurah tiferet. Chitzoniim, at the bottom, is netzach hod yesod. That is the formation of a kli. So our body is exactly goes like this. Chesed gevurah tiferet, netzach hod yesod, and chokhmah bina da'at on the top, the rosh. Va'ata begadlut, and when we come to gadlut, that's when we get neshama. Then we get tzelem. Then we have the milui kasa. Because Betzalel in the with the 5 letters of Betzalel, that is Yosef, 156. But when it becomes Kasa on top, Tzelem complete, he becomes Yosef. A Hey is added to it. That's the difference. That's why he becomes Yosef. With the Hey, Malchut. בבחינת הכלים פנימיים שלהם עם האורות אשר שם הנקראים נשמה. גדלות is when you get your neshama. Then your Tselem is complete. Because at first you're going to get only the tzadi. Only you're going to get netzachot yesod. You get a zone. You get a vak. Until you make it gadol. That's katnut. Yenika. Katnut yenika is like 6 days of Yamei Chol. That's when the Shem Elokim becomes complete. Ele connects to Yud Mem. And the Shvi'i, Shabbat, Yud Hei Vav Hei Gadlut. מולידים מוכין לגדלות דזעיר אנפין הם נשמה ואליו גם כן נקרא צלם ונשמה זעיר אנפין. Then you get the צלם. When you get your נשמה. ואלו הם המוכין האמתיים. Then באמת you have מוכין. Then באמת you have reached a חוכמה בינה דעת. That's called מוכין אמיתיים. הנמשכים מפנימיות האבא ואמא. And those מוכין coming from the פנימיות of אבא ואמא. Because we are talking about neshama. Oh, we're going to learn such a beautiful thing, how the world of neshama works. How beautiful this, it's colorful. I mean it. It's colorful how they work together. So here, אחרי שנתבהר כל פרטי בחינת צלם, we're going to discuss every section of צלם. Then we're going to discuss the עיבור, יניקה וגדלות. That's how I can go back. I can go to the time of יניקה. I can go to time of and every aspect of the zera. I've explained. It's a possibility. We can get there. And many, that's the healing. The healing should be from the source. Now, imagine that the world can bring for itself. Each man can bring healing. Is there going to be any war? Is there going to be a reason for a war? Or for hate? And not to be united. And not to respect each other. Not to have compassion. Is it possible a person can be healed without having a compassion? No. No, so there are certain midot that needs to be established within a human being to be able to be a self-healing and a healer. Self-healing and a healer. Because if he cannot heal himself, he cannot heal anybody. Everything is in the yad of Hashem. Everything. But Hashem built us in His image and His demut. For this reason, He says, עוד צריך לפרש עניין מוחין דזעיר אנפין. It's one more thing I have to explain. וזהו הדרוש הוא העיקר. It's extremely important to understanding of a tzelem. Because I have to understand which mother was that really made the tzelem for everybody. Who is the source that causes the tzelem to appear? So he says, להבין עניין דתבונה. He says you have to understand what tevuna is. We have 3 levels of understanding. three levels of understanding. The first level of understanding is an understanding that is done with chokhmah. That's the highest level, when the bina and chokhmah, they are one. That's the highest understanding. If the bina is alone, is an understanding, but if chokhmah is not in it, is not a complete understanding. But if there is a wisdom in that understanding, they are complete. The level of lower part of understanding, it's made of energy called tevuna. The word tevuna, that's the two other parts lower than the bina. If you look at the partsuf of bina, the upper part of the bina is actually bina that is with chokhmah. The middle one of that bina is an understanding called tevuna number one. Lower the tevuna number one, there is another understanding called tevuna number two. So the total of bina is divided in a head of the bina, the top of part of bina, and the body of bina is divided into two parts. The head of the bina, the first bina, comes only till chazeh of bina. The first bina comes until chazeh. What it means until chazeh? That means this bina includes keter, chokhmah, bina, chesed, gevurah, tiferet, until chazeh. That's bina. From chazeh down, it comes tevuna number one. And we call that tevuna bait, rechem. This is the house where the rechem of mother is there. We call it beit rechem. And this is where tevuna number one is. From chazeh of this tevuna, because each one of those partsufim are complete partsuf. Bina is a complete partsuf, but tevuna is a complete partsuf too, tevuna number one. Tevuna number two is complete partsuf. So, what is all this is going to teach me? That there is three tevuna. We know that the ayeh as well has three miluim. And this is miluim of bina, that is kasa, kamag, vekana, all the miluim. Is all the dinim that needs to be what? Rectified. Mituk dinim. So who gives the dinim? Ima. When she is pregnant with the fetus, with the baby. So all the tselem that a neshama, whether on the level of neshama or level of ruach, or the libush that is level of nefesh, wears, comes to this world, that tzelem is given by whom? By mother. That's why Zera is important. But the 9 months and how this Zera comes in a year before that. Rav explains all these points, affects the creation of this Tzelem. Because this Tzelem is the appropriate clothes for this neshama to come to this world. לפרש עניין מוחין דזעיר אנפין זה, הדירוש הוא עיקר להבין עניין דתבונה, מה עניין והעניין כל בחינת הצלם דזעיר אנפין, זה שורש כל הדירושים. הנה מוחין אלו הם נמשכים מבחינת טיפה שנתן אבא ואמא. This comes from a טיפה זרע, that comes from אבא ואמא. בעת זיווגם זה בזה, when there is a zivug between Abba ואמא. ומבשרי אחיזה אלוהה, כי כמו שמהטיפת זכר נוצר וזלת שלם בכל עבריו. That's why Rav explained that when the zera comes, goes through klayot of the man, and then it comes to the testicle, and then the zera comes out. This zera is capable to create every part of human being, because it was dropped from the brain. וכאן טיפה זו אף על פי שאינו קוראים אותה מוחין לזעיר אנפין. This טיפה is not still the מוחין לזעיר אנפין. על כל זה הם פרצוף אחד שלם. That means this טיפה, it is true that it is, you see only a drop. This drop doesn't look like a human being, but trust that this drop is a parzuf shalem. It creates a complete. Now, גם יש בחינת ב'. There is second things here to consider. כי גם כן מתפשטים אחר כך בכל איבריו גוף דזון. That there is something else that is really, finally it comes to this זכר ונוקבה. Comes within the inside. It comes to the זעיר אנפין and מלכות. כי הרי טיפה זו כולל זיווג זכר ונוקבה. Because this טיפה has both male and female. Because it has an egg, so it has both male and female. So this טיפה is made of both male and female. לכן היא כולל משניהם ומתפשטים בזעיר אנפין ונקרא כמו שכתוב, והנה מוחין אלו יש להם ג' בחינות, כוללתם צלם. When the kamag, kana, vakasa, all of them, they become one together, all these three parts. They unite, they integrate, they become one. Then you have נקרא צלם, והוא הצלם ההולך האדם תמיד. האדם. Then it's not anymore ish, he's Adam now because he has a tzelem with mem, not without the mem. Before this, he didn't have the mem. When he reaches Gadlut, he gets the mem. והנה נתבהר כג' בחינות הם באמא. It's three parts in the Ima, into the Bina. כנגדם Abba. So is in Abba, there is three parts. So Rav is explaining, we're going to start learning first the three parts of Ima, And then through understanding of Ima is we understand what is Abba. כי הנה, בתחילה בינה העליונה is talking about the Bina that started the whole thing. Who is this Bina העליונה? For us is Israel Saba Betevuna. Eloheinu. Because when we get Shema Israel Adonai, the first Hovaya is Abba ve'Ima, that we call Abba, and Eloheinu is Ima, Bina, Israel Saba Betevuna. As the Zohar HaKadosh taught us on the Shema Israel. So Bina Eliona for us is Israel Saba Betevuna. Hu Ad HaChazeh. So he says, Til Chazeh is Bina Eliona. Tevuna hi michazeh lemata. So if I look at myself as the image of Israel, Til Chazeh, זה ישראל סבא ותבונה, ישראל, בינה, ישראל סבא, מחזה is תבונה. And tevuna is two parts. First, there is a parsuf shalem of tevuna that goes all the way down to the sof, and then there is from the chazeh of that tevuna and below to the sof is the last one, and that's the malchut one. That's the chotem to chotem. The first chotem is yesod, which is zachar, which is the tzelem, because first you have to complete the tzelem in order to get mochin. If the tzelem is not complete, you don't get mochin. So my work, when I am alive, I know when I am dying, the tzelem is going to come in the basket with me upstairs. And then it comes back to my kever. That I understood. But while it's here, what I should do with it? To take all the dinim, because the tzelem carries all the dinim, to make it mituk. And by making it mituk, I make my clothes colorful of lights. והוא הצלם ההולך אדם תמיד. והנה נתבהר כגימל בחינות באמא. 3 levels of אמא, כנגד באבא, ונבהר אותם אמא ומשם יתבהר לאבא. כי הנה בתחילה, בינה עליונה הוא עד חזה. בינה עליונה is till חזה. ותבונה היא מחזה ולמטה, ואלו שניהם נקרא סמך ומם. We explained already this סמך ומם, let's go on, ואחר כך זה התבונה, כי הוא נחלקת לבית. But the point is that the תבונה is divided into 2 parts. והם תבונה ראשונה, עד החזה שלה, תבונה is עד החזה שלה, and from חזה שלה, exactly like בינה, that until חזה started the תבונה, this תבונה, the first one until חזה, from the חזה of תבונה, first one, there is the second תבונה. And that part starts the מלכות. ותבונה ב' מחזה של התבונה הזו למטה. ונקרא תבונה ב' אשר נקרא שלישי. It's the second תבונה, but it's the third level of בינה. בערך בינה ראשונה. והם ג' בינה ותבונה ותבונה דתבונה. So we have 3 levels called בינה, תבונה, תבונה של תבונה. וזה התבונה השנייה, שהיא השלישית. כנזכר למעלה, והיא נעשה לצלם. So the שלישית causes the צלם. So Kasa is the שלישית. Because it's Yudin. Now, let's see the paradox. והנה בעת הזיווג גם להוציא טיפת צלם, המוחין האלו, הם נעשו כולם פרצוף אחד. When then there is a neshama, then there is an integrity, integration, then there is one צלם אחד. פרצוף אחד. It becomes total פרצוף. ונמצא תבונה הראשונה שהיא הבית, מהחזה ולמטה של הפרצוף, בהיותה שלם. It is now שלם. שלם means הזדמן. בתבונה זו היא בית רחם, של כולל הפרצופות ושהו מקום העיבור דצלם המוחין. Which one is the rechem is the one that is in the middle, called Beit Rechem. It's between Ben, Bina, and the Tevuna, the second Tevuna, or the Shilishit, Bina Shilishit. The middle one we call Beit Rechem. That's where the Rechem is. That's where the Tipa goes there. And that's where in the Rechem it gets cultivated until it reaches its maturity. That means becomes Tselem. That means Zeirampin gets its mochin of Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama. Gadlut. Here, אמנם עיקר הטיפה של הצלם נוצר מחוכמה ובינה. The עיקר, the importance of this טיפה that really becomes a פרצוף שלם, it becomes a פרצוף. This טיפה really came from the source, a חוכמה ובינה, העליונה. That means from Abba Ve'ima Elyon, the first Yud He Vav He Shema. ומלובשים ונכללים בחוכמה ותבונה, הבית. And they are having libush of חוכמה ותבונה. Remember, first חוכמה ותבונה. Which תבונה? הבית. The second תבונה completes the צלם. Because צלם comes from the second תבונה. מוחין comes from second תבונה. Second תבונה reveals it. Causes it. It starts from the second one. Then you cultivate. And then you get neshama. Ibur is nefesh. Then yanika. Then neshama. So you start with Betzalel. Before I continue, I would like you to go to Parasha, Sefer Shemot, Parasha Kitisa. You're going to love this. Because everything that we learn it from Torah, and everything we learn is emet, and since it's emet, the system is going to help us to succeed. That's protection. When you go on side of emet. In the chapter Lamed Aleph, Parashat Ki Tisa, וידבר אדוני אל משה לאמור. We know the secret of emor, or מים rakia, creation, formation. We are at a stage of formation. ראה, look, קראתי בשם בצלאל. Remember what Torah is using. Karati, Vaikra. Whom did he call? Moshe. When he talked to Moshe, did anybody else hear it? No, because he called Moshe. So when he called Bezalel, did Moshe hear what he? No, that's why God is telling him that he talked to an energy called Bezalel. Informed him. The same way that he informed Moshe in regard in Ohel Moed. So the calling went to Bezalel. So now I know the Bezalel, כעוז קנה, פלוס לכוללים, שיוסף, שהוא צדיק, called him. Ben Uri, it's a ben, it has dinim that brings or, light. Because ben is the fifth partsuf of Adam Kadmon. It's all the dinim, all the keilim, all the gevurot. Ben Uri, Ben Chur. Chur is letters of Ruach. Lemate Yehuda. To have the ratzon, the will, power to create Yehuda Malchut. Reading the Torah. Simple understanding. Ve'emaloto. What did I do? I filled up, gave him everything he needs from A to Z. I filled him up. Ruach Elokim. Why? Because he has to create Tzelem Elokim. He has to bring the image. Has to create the libushim. So the Shekhinah can come. He has to create libush. He makes the Tzelem. So the Shekhinah can appear through Keilim. So Ruach Elokim. And we know that Tzelem is in the Ruach. Yes, we explained it, the Yetzer HaTov. Bechokmah. I gave him Chokhmah or Betevuna. That's why Arya Kadosh told us Bechokmah Betevuna. We study right now. Bechokmah and Tevuna. בדעת או בכל מלאכה. And the knowledge to do the whole work. That's ונקה. זה יוסף. וקנה. Okay. לחשוב. Please, every word here is gold. לחשוב. Starts in the thought, in the mind. Everything starts in the mind. Sickness starts in the mind. What is the beautiful thing we learned this week is whenever you go to comparison, you compare, comparison causes pain. When you compare, it causes you pain. So don't compare yourself with nobody. You are individual, you are who you are. That's it. Baruch Hashem. Allah, לחשוב. Everything is your thought. לחשוב מחשבות. That means calculate your thoughts. לעשות בזהב, בכסף או בנחושת. חסד, גבורה, תפארת. לחשוב, לעשות. That means you are נצח עוד יסוד. You are עיבור, קטנות. You gotta get יותר גדול. יותר גדול is יניקה, זה קמג. You have to go to the source, to Raham, to Beit Rechem. From Kana, you have to go to Kamag, you have to go to Beit Rechem. Because your source, your mochin are there. And then when you got the Yenika, you got the Ruach completed, the Midot completed, then you get your Neshama, your Telem. Now you have Chokhmah bin Da'at. Now you finish the work. The section of Torah that Hashem calls. Oh, I can, then there is more beautiful things even, because there is a second part to it. We don't have only Betzalel. Now we have the Eliyahav. That's awesome. Why awesome? Follow. I know we're going a little bit further, but it's worth it. Ahaliyav. The Torah says the following. ואני is שכינה. הנה נתתי אותו. So it's all the work of Shekhinah. Or is the Ima. We are talking about Ima because Ani is talking. נתתי איתו את Eliyahav. What is the word of Eliyahav? Elohei Av. Avi. Ela Avi. That is Abraham, Yitzhak, Yaakov. Avot. Yenika. Chesed, Gevurah, Tiferet. Ben Achi Samach. Samach is the word Samech. למטה דן. ובלב כל חכם, לב. This is given to all Chacham Lev. That means every Lev that wants to study the Torah. God gives this Betzalel. Every heart that wants to study the Torah and exercise the truth and bring the truth within his heart to establish. Here God gives, that's Eliyahav was the beautified, designed, colored, gave beauty to this tzelem. It is the part of Eliav is the Malchut of Eliav, Malchut of Betzalel. It's the gross of Betzalel. It made the work of Betzalel more beautiful. Not only it is spiritually formed correctly, but it beautified it. And then the result was the Tzelem, and when the Tzelem came out, that's the Revi'i, that's the Muchin, that they go into Zeirampin. And Zeirampin becomes Gadol. It is my feeling that Hashem has loved us. It's a zechut. It's a zechut to be at the time and circumstances that we can learn from Chachamim, such Chachamim that gives us understanding and meaning to our life, true meaning to our life. So, Bezrat Hashem, after 120 years, we did not go with the sack of emptiness, but a sack that carries good mitzvot, good mood, simcha, joy, goodness, happiness, unity, shalom. It's something that defines shalom. This is what we lack most in this world, is shalom. Just for sake of loving someone else, just to love him. Any questions? I hope the last night difficulty is clarified, and we will continue this study, God's willing, very soon, because of the Pesach. I would like to understand this Israel Saba B'Tevuna, which is the lower aspect of Bina and Chokhmah. That means two parts, the lower part of Chokhmah is Israel Saba, and lower parts of Bina is Tevuna. And then when Israel Saba B'Tevuna, they unite, then there is the unification between Arichampin, Abba Ve'ima Elyon, Israel Saba B'Tevuna, and Zon. There is a total unification. As it happens every time when we put Tefillin, Tzitzit, and Shacharit, and the result of 6 days Katnut, because 6 days is Katnut, is completing Elohim, 10 Oz Elohim. Oz Elohim. That means we give Oz to Elohim. We complete Elohim, and on Shabbat, Adonai, Hovaya, Rachamim. We are going to learn soon who is this, what is this Tzelem? The Tzelem is Yud Hey Vav Hey. Yud Hey Vav is the Tzelem. Yud Hey Vav is the Tzelem. And the Hey Acharon is the Mut. Is the likeliness. It Domeh is the Mut. That's Hey Acharona. So Yud Hey Vav Hey is God created Betzelmo צלם אמת, אות אמת, ודמותו. And demut is likeliness is as well as emet. That's why if your inside and outside is emet, then your tzelem is emet. Then you leave the world of emet. When your inside and outside is emet. And where can I find emet? In which book can I find emet other than Torah? That's why Tikkun Aleph, as we discussed last night, is Tikkun of Limud Torah. We complete Aleph, that means Adam. Otherwise, if it doesn't have an Aleph, it's dumb. It's only dumb. The Aleph makes him Adam. And the Adam olech betzelem Elokim. Holech, that means all the time. I know that whatever I do, I have caused this tzelem either to be beautified, glorified, or I have belittled it and I have dirtied it. Question. I love this subject, so if you let me, I'll go on and on.
It was amazing lesson, I agree. Hakam, if I want to summarize, so you said that, so the Bina is going to divide it to 3 parts. The first part is going to be, so it's going to be called Bina or Aleph part. The second part is going to be Tevuna, Aleph, and the third one is going to be Tevuna, Bet.
Correct.
So the first Bina, so it is the Kasaf. All right? The first one, because it is 3 items. The first one, should I say it is Kasa?
The Tzelem. The Tzelem is Kasa because the numerical value of Kasa is Tzelem.
Yeah.
Aye is not Tzelem. When the Aye becomes complete with Yud, that means complete with Chokhmah. We're going to learn because Chokhmah becomes, Chaya becomes Neshama shel Bina. Chokhmah mitlabesh bebina, but Neshama mitlabesh beneshama bina. We're going to learn this very soon. Be patient with me in this regard. But right now, understand that there is a bina. The first one is bina. The second one is tevuna, aleph, tevuna, bet.
Tevuna. Okay. So because so it's not because I thought this one is Kasa Kamak Kana. It's not Kasa Kana.
No. First, it comes Kana, cleansing. First, it comes Yosef. That Katnut.
Mm-hmm.
When it's Kasa, is Yosef. That's the difference. That means the Kli of Malchut is made, Demut is complete, and Tzelem is complete.
I see. So this Tzelem that we have, we have, you call it, so one part is Kana and Kamak. One of them is Zachar, one of them is Nukva.
Correct.
So, and all of them you said comes from Bina. So what is the role of Zachar? Because,
now, we
that
talked about Bina. First, we saw the division of Bina. Now take Chokhmah and divide it the same way.
Oh, Chokhmah is going to divide it the same way.
But instead of saying Tevuna, divide it the same way as Israel Saba.
Oh, Chokhmah, Israel Saba 1, Israel Saba 2.
So there is going to be Kav Yamin Israel Saba. Kav small is because Tikkun is Tikkun of Kavim. And Kav small is going to be Tevuna.
Uh-huh.
So you have to, from below, you have to do aliyad man in order to be able to unite kav yamin to kav small, in order to cause Abba ve'ima to unite with Israel Saba ve'tevunah, to give a tipa to tevunah, and the tevunah to create a possibility, the completing the yenika, and then mochin.
So based on what you said, can I say first, the lower part of Israel Saba is gonna make a zivug with the lower part of Tevuna. So it's one tipa. So the
First you
upper
get
part,
netzach hod yesod.
yeah, Netzachot Yisrael is gonna be make it kana. Kana is gonna be kana. And
That means
Israel
netzach
Saba,
hod yesod of bina.
Netzachot Yisod, or we should say that Kadnut Rishon. or
That's
Kadnut.
right.
And then the second part is gonna make
Vak.
so Yanika.
Vak.
And the third, when the Chokhmah Bina.
No, now vak, that means you have made the ruach midot correctly. So you made the correction of nefesh and ruach.
Beautiful. And the third one, which means Chokhmah Bina together, is gonna be Neshama or Mem. And with this, is gonna be Selem, is gonna be connected, completed.
And therefore can give mochin to Zeirampin.
And this tree is gonna go become a mochin to the.
Whenever there is a tzelem completed, then there is mochin completed for Zeirampin. Zeirampin gets the mochin piece by admir. Ibur number 1 is at the time of Pesach. Ibur number 2 is at the time of Shavuot. But Ibur number 3 is Hoshana Rabbah, when we get 2 tzelamim, 2 chotmot.
So it's gonna be for that. Hech Esadim, Hech Yevurat.
And from there we're gonna start building the malchut. The malchut is already got tipa, and the tipa gets build up. Now is Yetziat Mitzrayim. That tipa is gonna come out as a neshama ruach nefesh katnut rishon.
Beautiful, beautiful. It was so nice. No, I enjoyed it.
I hope that all students have an opportunity to go over this. If you have any questions, I will be more than glad anytime get in touch with me and have a question, because it is of utmost important to know these lessons as deep as you can. At the end, I would like deeply from all my heart, thank you for all those donations that you are sending. I appreciate very much those that who have remembered. I thank you, and those who have forgotten as well, still I thank you that you are still around, and I love to have you always around. תהיו בריאים, כל טוב לכם, ושלום ולהתראות.
Shalom, shalom. See you tomorrow.
Recording